The only thing missing from Authenticate, Steve, is you. So hopefully we can see you next year. I'm going to turn things over to you now.
Thanks heaps. And wow, it's such a bummer to not be there. Andrew, thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you to you and Ryan and Stephanie and Tasha and the whole team. It's great to come to you from Sydney. I hope everyone's safe and sound. It looks like it's been great over there. Look, I've been following FIDO since 2013. I was so lucky to actually be in the room when it launched at the RSA conference in 2013. I've said before that FIDO is the most impactful industry consortium, industry initiative that we've ever seen in our space. And there's a number of reasons for that. But I just want to applaud again the leadership of Andrew and the leadership of the FIDO Alliance for consumerizing cryptography, and I think more importantly, encouraging really precise thinking about the problems that we're trying to solve. Design thinking, and I'm going to talk about design thinking for authentication. I'm going to try and think global, but act local, and I took the liberty of flipping the title of my presentation at the last minute. So bear with me, and I'm going to explain that. Identity. We have been struggling with this for so long. Dave Birch, brilliant British raconteur, provocateur, has said very provocatively that we're just getting nowhere. And the industry itself admits this. Leading analysts only last year reminded us that we've been doing this for 30 years. I am going to say that it's embarrassing that the identirati are still going around in circles on some of this stuff. And now we want to talk about the identity of things. I mean, give me a break. We have made a mess of the identity of things that have already got identities. How are we going to deal with inanimate objects, and why are we thinking about identity? You know the next line after this, famous still, but let's flip it. Let's not go for a bigger idea. Let's find a smaller idea. Let's think global but act local. Let's keep it simple, as some of those entrepreneurs just told us a few minutes ago. We have this really bad habit in identity of making things complicated, indeed making things grandiose. It's a pretty grandiose idea out of self-sovereign identity that we are somehow going to get control over all of the data about us that's flowing around out there. The self-sovereign community weaponizes identity in order to regain power from the bad guys, and I get that. There's too much surveillance capitalism. There's too much government intrusion. I get all that, but the idea that we're going to use identity and control information, I think is beyond complex. So let's take a minute to look at the Internet of Things, the Internet of Cars, and just imagine for a second the feasibility of controlling information about us. The Internet of Cars. It's a weird and wonderful world. We've got kids in the back seat of the car playing their games, networking to the car, exchanging information with the car. The driver has probably started the car with her Apple Watch. She's got a wireless mobile driver's license, fantastic technology, but where is that going to be connecting to the car? We're already talking about connecting medical devices for safety reasons. Great idea. Connecting the kids' games, connecting the kids' toys, the internet-connected Barbie doll, famously. I mean, a toy with its own privacy policy. How fabulous is that? The complexity under the hood. I mean, what's going on underneath the hood? It's actually not parts anymore, it's networks. It's networks exchanging data. The car is a data center on wheels. It's a network on wheels, but it's part of a bigger network. And the real importance of the IoT has got to do with the bigger world. Who's the car talking to? Third-party apps, infrastructure, other cars, other traffic, other supply chains. That's the future of the Internet of Cars. The IoT is all about data. It's about regulators. It's about other relying parties. It's about other components. It's about data companies that want that data from your data center on wheels. And this is heading towards what they used to talk about nanotech as being grey goo. This is becoming so murky we are sleepwalking into informatic grey goo, and it's powered by data. the head of the IoT at T-Systems has said that vehicle data is more profitable than the car itself. It's a serious prospect that we're going to be getting cars for free, just as we get apps and computers for free, in order to participate in that data exchange. That quote is uncannily like Walter Ristrom from Citibank many years ago, who said that information about money is more valuable than money. And our history is repeating itself on this enormous stage of the IoT. So design thinking. Can we get precise about the problems that we're trying to solve, especially with the IoT? What do we need to know about all of those components and subsystems? Where will you get that knowledge? And how will you know that it's true? That, in fact, is the story of the verifiable credential. The verifiable credential, and we'll talk about that in a second. It's a component, it's an agent that acts on behalf of customers for mutual authentication, delivering just the amount of information that a merchant needs to know, delivering the information from a verifiable chip with attestation and quality, and proving that the information is true thanks to a chain of accountability, thanks to a chain of digital signatures. The chip and PIN card, I think, is one of the very first verifiable credentials. Now, the patterns that matter have got to do with hardware cryptography, good key storage, and transaction signing. The authentication pattern that we've settled on, the issuer providing the information that you need to know, the holder that keeps that information in a wallet of some sort, and the verifier or the relying party that forms part of that triangle. So again, let's repeat, provenance of the credential. Where did the credential come from? Has it been signed by the issuer? Proof of possession. How does the verifier know that that credential has come from its rightful owner? And that comes from a dynamic digital signature in the wallet. And the provenance and the state of the device itself. How is the device unlocked? Was it unlocked by a PIN or a biometric or a FIDO certified biometric? The signals to allow the verifier to make some fine-grained risk management decision are all based there in the substrate of the verifiable credential. And I love that all of this is adjacent to FIDO. FIDO has pioneered, as I said, the consumerization of cryptography. Strong key storage, strong chips, user control of those chips, signals that prove that the user was in control of the chip, and transaction signing. These are the building blocks. And now we're scaling it up. We're scaling up Infostructure so that pattern repeats. It forms part of an ecosystem of multiple issuers, multiple verifiers, multiple stakeholders, and things. The holders of credentials are not people anymore. The holders are things. Their wallets are embedded secure elements, private key storage, transaction signing in a microcontroller unit in the thing. The verifier is also inanimate. The verifier is going to be infrastructure. The verifier is going to be automatic data collection, automatic traffic controllers, automatic data harvesting for the benefit that will come from the Internet of Things in society. And the issuers are manufacturers. The issuers are multiple stakeholders in this ecosystem of data. Multiple things, not even computerized things, but goods and supply chain elements and the stuff that we eat, the medicines above all that we're relying on now. With an amazingly rich, the currency now is not money, the currency is data. And the items that we need to know about all of these things, warranty information, registration, service history, supply chain signals, are all going to be traded and exchanged securely through that infrastructure of verifiable credentials. So let's think global but act local, and let's keep things simple. As I said, we have made a mess of the identity of people, and they have identities. We shouldn't be thinking about the identity of things, we should be thinking about the information of things. We should be thinking about the information about things being consumed by things and being verified and produced and provided by things. I think the IoT is going to depend on the critical infrastructure that we're building, and the key element of all of that is going to be the FIDO authentication. at scale that you guys have pioneered now for several years, and it clearly represents to me the future of infrastructure for the IoT. Thanks heaps. Andrew, we've probably got time for questions. I don't know what the formality is and what the logistics are of that coming from you to you remotely, but thanks again for the opportunity. I've really loved this. I've loved preparing for this and watching the event from Sydney.
Steve, thank you so much. Yeah, we do have time for some questions. Megan, how much time do we have? Who has questions for Steve? Because we haven't been doing questions for keynotes. So Steve, I have one for you. So what made you change the title like that from, we need a bigger idea to a smaller idea? So is the point less is more? Is that the key message here?
Yeah, less is more. There's a lovely quote somewhere that I was trying to find this morning over breakfast about in order to go big, you should go small. I forget what that quote is, but I think it's really important. I think that we need to layer our thinking. I think that we need to have precision and attention to detail down at the chip level. And that's what I really love about FIDO being, I think, the leading expression of all of that hardware cryptography. These are the components. And if we get that right, and if we're really precise about the information that we need to know about things and how we're going to get that information and verify it, if we get that right, then I think that these Lego blocks then build up into something that's truly wonderful and great. I get it that identity is so personal and it's been so wrong, and that we do feel energized to own identity and to do all those grandiose things. But I think there's a lot of illusion attached to that, and a lot of energy that has clearly been complicated and difficult to harness. And yeah, I think we need to think precisely, if not small.
Okay. Very good. Well, Steve, thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you in person next year. So thanks for everything you do. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, Andrew.
Thank you.
Right back at you, mate. Cheers.